Good morning, everyone. In today's Midday Guard, we are back this week with Darby Quinn, our landscape designer. Today we are talking about how to tuck in your garden for the winter.
Yes.
So several things that we need to do to prepare for the colder temperatures. So what first?
Well, first of all, you're going to go in your garden and you're going to cut back all the plants that are tall and nappy and just get them back so they're neat and tidy and get that debris out, because you don't want to encourage disease and insects and things like that.
And we actually did that to this plant. We cut it back a little bit.
We did.
So is it okay to cut this plant back?
It is, and we use your handy dandy hand pruners, and we just cut back particular stalks that were sticking out just to kind of tidy it up a bit.
Really tall.
But the main thing you need to be concerned with, things like azaleas or camellias, things that may have already set their blooms for the next year, anything that blooms before May 1st, you don't want to prune them back unless it's just really unsightly, because you're going to be cutting back the flowers that it's going to have the next year. But if it blooms late, like a crepe myrtle, or after May 1st, normally you can prune it. There are a few exceptions, but rule of thumb.
What about our hanging baskets? Do we need to bring those in?
Yes, you do, especially if they're tender. This is a type of begonia. This is an awesome, really cool hanging basket. So yes, if it's going to get down into the mid-40s, go ahead and bring your tender baskets in, your pots, anything that you've got that you want to save till next year. Now, sometimes people just say, I'll just get a new one in the spring, and that's okay. But if you've got your your tropical hibiscus and your bougainvillea.
This one's kind of rare to this region, so you might want to save that
You really don't see this too often, so I think the homeowner really should take it in and give it some,
TLC,
bright light, and cut back on the watering a little bit. Don't let it get too dry. Just kind of watch it. If it starts to droop, you would water it a little bit.
Okay, and also hostas right now not looking too good. I'm noticing this one. What do we need to do here?
Well, actually, you really don't need to do anything. Go ahead and let the leaves die olive. If you notice, they're turning yellow, and they're going to basically die and go to the ground. And once all the leaves are brown, you can come in and cut them off. But other than that, you just leave it alone. Hostas come back a little bit late in the spring, so don't give up on it. It's going to come back. It'll come back.
Okay, and let's just pretend for a second that this is a tender plant. So what do you do if you have a tender plant that you cannot just pick up and take inside for the winter? What do you do with that?
Okay, well, let's just pretend that this is a camellia, your prized camellia, and it's got buds on it, and they're all swelled up, and the temperature's going to go down in the low 20s and the teens, and you don't want to lose your flower buds. Well, a lot of people come out here and cover it in plastic, but that's not really good, because the plastic touches the plant, and the cold actually goes through it and will actually burn your plant. So we use a sheet or a blanket, and what we do is we just take it, and you want to cover up the entire plant so that there's there we go.
Sweet little plant.
Right? And then you tuck it down and you weight it down with either rocks or brick or something, so that air can't get under it. Now, if you had 6 to put in here, like 4 on the corner, where you could put them in the ground on either side, and you could actually
make a tent.
Make a tent so that the plant is not actually touching the fabric, and it keeps an air pocket in there, and that'll warm up from the heat from the ground, and it'll be like a little kind of a mini greenhouse.
What if it rains?
Well, it'll get wet, but it'll be fine. Won't hurt it.
Okay. All right.
Actually, in Florida, they actually turn the sprinkler systems on the oranges and freeze the fruit, and that saves it, because frozen only goes to 32. So if it won't be going below 32. So if it's frozen solid. So if you're ever in Florida and you see irrigation on and the trees are all dripping with frozen icicles, they're protecting the fruit in the trees from going below 32 degrees.
So we won't think they're just crazy.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Well, I can't vouch for that. But
well, Darby, thank you so much for helping us out with preparing our plants for the winter. We appreciate it. And we're going to have this information, Darby's info, on our website, too. And you can rewatch this segment, NBC13.com.